code generally prohibits lights in locations where the closet structure interferes with required clearances. However, there is a possible solution to consider. It involves mounting a luminaire on the slanted wall in such a way that it projects below the plane of the 16-inch vertical clearance limit, approximately 9 inches. To achieve this, one would need to employ a close-mounted luminaire. Examples of suitable luminaires include pancake lights or recessed lights. Pancake lights are surface-mounted luminaires with a very low profile, making them ideal for areas with limited headroom. Recessed lights, on the other hand, are installed within the ceiling or wall, providing a flush finish and maximizing space. When considering recessed lights, it's important to choose a model that is suitable for installation in a wall, as some are designed specifically for ceiling use. The installation must comply with all applicable sections of the National Electrical Code. This includes ensuring proper wiring methods, grounding, and overcurrent protection. The NEC outlines specific requirements for wiring in closets, including the type of wiring allowed and the methods for securing and supporting the wiring. Branding is essential for electrical safety, and all luminaires and metal enclosures must be properly grounded. Overcurrent protection, such as circuit breakers or fuses, is necessary to protect the wiring and equipment from damage due to excessive current flow. When selecting a luminaire, it is important to consider its light output and color temperature. The light output should be sufficient to adequately illuminate the closet space, while the color temperature should be chosen to create a comfortable and visually appealing environment. It's also important to consider the luminaire's energy efficiency. LED luminaires are generally more energy efficient than traditional incandescent or fluorescent luminaires, and they can save money on electricity bills over the long term. Always consult the NEC for the most up-to-date requirements and guidance. Local codes and regulations may also apply, and it is important to check with the local authority having jurisdiction to ensure compliance. Firstly, carefully measure the closet space and determine the optimal location for the luminaire. Take into account the slanted wall on the 16-inch vertical clearance limit. Secondly, select a close-mounted luminaire, such as a pancake light or a recessed light, that is suitable for the application. Thirdly, ensure that the luminaire is properly grounded and wired in accordance with the NEC. Fourthly, install overcurrent protection, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, to protect the wiring and equipment. Fifthly, test the installation to ensure that it is working properly and that it meets all applicable safety requirements. The NEC Section 410 covers the installation of luminaires, lamp holders, and lamps. Specifically, 410.8 addresses luminaires in closed closets. It defines storage space in a closet as the volume bounded by the sides and back closet walls extending from the closet floor vertically to a height of 6 feet or the highest clothes hanging rod and continuing horizontally to a plane parallel with the sides or back closet wall. For a shelf installed above the clothes hanging rod, the storage space extends to the shelf or 12 inches above the rod, whichever is greater. Luminaires must be installed with specific clearances from the defined storage space. Surface-mounted or recessed incandescent luminaires with completely enclosed globes or lenses are permitted in closets, provided there is a minimum clearance of 12 inches horizontally from the storage space. Surface-mounted fluorescent luminaires are permitted, provided there is a minimum clearance of 6 inches horizontally from the storage space. LED luminaires are permitted in closets, subject to the same clearance requirements as other types of luminaires. Pendant luminaires and lamp holders are not permitted in closets, as they pose a safety hazard due to their exposed position. The intent of these requirements is to prevent clothing and other combustible materials from coming into contact with hot luminaires and causing a fire. Consider the placement of the existing light fixture. If it is already in violation of 410.8, it should be relocated to a code-compliant location or replaced with a compliant luminaire. Remember to always disconnect the power supply before working on any electrical equipment. Use appropriate safety precautions, such as wearing insulated gloves and using insulated tools. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. A licensed electrician will have the knowledge and experience to safely and properly install the luminaire in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. The electrician can also assess the existing wiring and make any necessary upgrades to ensure that the installation is safe and reliable. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to use the latest edition when planning and performing electrical work. The NEC is available from the National Fire Protection Association. Many jurisdictions also adopt and enforce the NEC as part of their local building codes. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Consult with the qualified electrician and the local authority having jurisdiction to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Consider also the long-term maintenance of the lighting system. LED luminaires typically have a longer lifespan than traditional incandescent or fluorescent luminaires, which can reduce the need for frequent replacements. However, it is still important to periodically inspect the luminaires and replace any that are damaged or not functioning properly. Also, consider the potential for future changes to the closet configuration. If the closet may be modified in the future, it is important to choose a lighting solution that is flexible and can be easily adapted to accommodate the changes. For example, recessed lights can be easily relocated or replaced if necessary. Finally, communicate clearly with the client about the available options and the associated costs. Explain the code requirements and the limitations of the space. Provide the client with a detailed estimate of the cost of the installation, including the cost of the luminaire, the wiring, and the labor. Clear and transparent communication will help the client make an informed decision and ensure a successful outcome.